Give the coat back.
These are the sights and sounds of piracy, an epidemic that has defied the government, crippled the economy, spurned wars throughout Somalia and their neighboring countries, and is set to ultimately define Somalia forever. This is piracy, an unnatural disaster. Somalia started as a territory claimed by the British and the Italians in the late 1880s, then named Somaliland. Like many other parts of the world conquered by the British, the tribes living there were strongly opposed to British rule, and rebelled many times, one lasting from 1900 to 1920. In 1960, the British and the Italian Somalilands combined, and in 1969, a bloodless coup was held, forcing the British out, and socialist Somalia was formed. Most of the time since then has been filled with famine, plague, and wars that crippled the government and economy. Piracy started to be more popular around 2007 and has since defined the country with almost no political opposition. With Somalia being located right next to the Gulf of Aden, there are many massive global shipping routes going right past their country each day. Due to the struggling economy, some thought an easy way to make money would be piracy. They would go aboard the ships, hold the crew hostage, and demand ransom, sometimes making millions of dollars in the process. Even though it had been happening for a while, the world and global focus on piracy started around 2007, which is where piracy rates skyrocketed in this area of Somalia. It became that the Gulf of Aden was almost impossible to travel through without having to face some type of pirate attack. It was deterring many shipping companies from going through there, and really became a national epidemic, even spurring a major motion picture to be created about the topic of piracy. In 2013, the movie Captain Phillips was released, bringing the issue of piracy to a huge global audience. This film was a blockbuster. It covered the attack and commandeering of the cargo transport ship, which was based on a true story, as the ship traveled through the Gulf of Aden. This clip from the movie illustrates the methods that pirates used and how they overtook a boat rather quickly and secured the vessel. This movie produced a lot of support for the issue of piracy and has definitely contributed to its fall of success of piracy in the recent years since this movie premiered. One of the main factors that helped piracy become very low and almost non-existent in the area was the hiring of security teams on the shipping boats. These security teams monitor the seas and see if there are any pirates or anyone else coming up to threaten the boat. If they do, they are trained to shoot them down instantly. The success of these security teams, along with awareness brought to the issue of piracy, has led pirate attacks to be on a steep decline every year since 2010. There has only been one piracy attack in the last 7 years successfully carried out, and is believed to be an isolated incident. This occurred back in April of 2017. Otherwise, there has been no attack successfully carried out since 2010, which bodes well for the future of eradicating piracy in this area. Piracy all stems from a lack of a strong economy. When it first started, the reasons were for economical reasons. Getting money and being able to have money are some of the biggest things that people strive for in the world. Currently, Somalia has one of the lowest GDPs, or gross domestic products, in the entire world. It also has over 46% of their population in poverty. They need to become a better country, and their first step toward gaining a stronger government and regaining world power is eradicating piracy. Once they do that, they will have gotten rid of the negative stigma and will be able to receive realistic aid from the rest of the world, hopefully. But their first step is to get rid of piracy once and for all. My essential question was, how is a nation's economic and political success predetermined by its geography? Since Somalia is located in North Africa, which is a place that was among those colonized by the British many times, Somalia had a small chance for success as they stood from the start. Many places that were colonized by the British earlier struggled to stay afloat, and since they were being ruled by them for so long, they were left with shambles of a country. All they had were tribes. They were doomed from the start, and that's one of the biggest reasons that they are now in as much trouble as a nation as they are currently.